Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of the Pawspectives Petcast. I'm your host, Yenting, and I'm so glad you're here. Today's episode is unlike anything we've ever done before. Now, as pet parents, I think our biggest fear is to lose our beloved pet. And perhaps it is not something that many of us talk about. I think we avoid thinking or talking about it until we're faced with it. But what happens after goodbye? And how do we choose to remember them? That brings us to our topic today, pet taxidermy. Pet taxidermy is the process of preserving a pet's body to look lifelike after it has passed away. Some see it as a loving tribute, others think it's morbid, but what actually goes into preserving a pet's memory in the most lifelike way possible? To help us understand, we're starting this episode with a live demo of the taxidermy process. So, Anna, very nice to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's jump right into the live demo of what taxidermy is.
All right. Yeah. So as you can see, we have a few taxidermy right here in front of us. So when you talk about taxidermy, the word taxidermy is actually comes from a Greek word, which means taxi is actually movement or arrangement.
Right.
And dermy or derma is the skin. So when I say taxidermy, I'm actually just using the skin of an animal for preservation. I don't use the meat, the bones, none of the organs, the eyeballs, the brains. Everything has to come out. So what you see in front of you here is just a work of art using the skin of the animal.
That's amazing.
I have an example here.
Right.
So if you look at this rat, right? It's nice and preserved. And you wonder what's inside of it.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, so I have a demo right here to show you. This is what is inside of this taxidermy.
Wow.
So the most of the items, the material that I use is actually coconut husk, as you can see here. And I use clay. And what would replace the bones of the animals are wires. See, I got wires here, wires everywhere to replace the bone of the animal itself.
Oh, that's
So we
just
replace
so
the skull,
fascinating.
we put in fake eye beads.
So everything in there is not real except for
that's
just the skin.
Exactly.
Which is what exactly taxidermy means.
Exactly. It's just I'm working on the skin, basically.
Right.
So if you look at Felix right here, right?
Yeah.
Felix has his skull attached to him. Other than that, it's all his skin.
Right.
That's it. And same like the rabbit. The rabbit is as the same concept as well. I don't use the organs or anything. Taxidermy is mainly just about the skin.
Wow. So that's really like fascinating. I mean, I've never seen anything like that before. How did you get into it? How did you get into pet taxidermy?
Okay, this is the most frequently asked question actually.
Yeah.
But it's also my favorite question.
Okay.
Because
Tell
I
us
get to
more.
talk about my cat.
Oh, tell us about your
Okay,
cat.
So my cat, she's 18 years old.
Oh my
And she's my best friend. And she's my inspiration, really. She's the reason why I became a taxidermist. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be the woman I am now, you know?
Right.
So
What's her name?
Her name's Doody.
Judy. Okay.
So when Doody was 10 years old, I was thinking, okay, so the average lifespan of a cat is 13 to 20 years of age.
Yeah.
So when Doody was 10, I was thinking like, hey, what am I going to do with her? So in my
Yeah.
mind, I already had this idea that I have to preserve her.
Yeah.
So I was searching online and I couldn't find any taxidermists except for taxidermists that work in zoo or museum.
Yeah.
So nobody is providing this service to pet owners.
So at this point in time when Dodi is 10 and you're thinking about it, were you already what were you doing? Because now you're doing this full time, right?
Right, yes. So at that time, I was a lecturer.
Oh.
I'm a psychology lecturer, actually.
Wow. So nothing to do with taxidermy or
But
pet.
I have a huge art background. I
Okay.
dabble in body art. I dabble
Right.
I do paintings. I do murals. So I do have some art background. So it
so
wasn't like
talented.
such a far reach for me to get
Right.
into taxidermy.
Right,
'Cause
okay.
taxidermy is technically just full-on art, basically. You
Yeah.
need to have different skills of expertise actually to become a good taxidermist. So my art background actually helped me to become a taxidermist.
So at the time, 10 years old, you're thinking, what do I do? How do I preserve her? Like, how do I have that memory, right?
So I researched, right?
Yeah.
Only taxidermists in Malaysia is people work in museum or zoo.
Yeah.
Nobody doing for pet.
Yeah.
So I decided that no, I have to learn it now. Who's gonna preserve my duty when she passes on? So she was my biggest, just the motivation
Yeah.
that pushes me to learn. And it's hard here in Malaysia because we don't have schools here.
Yeah.
I can't go to a school to get a certification.
Never heard of
Then-
such a thing. Yeah.
No such thing. So
Yeah.
everything mainly is self-taught.
My God.
But during my research, I found my business partner, Dr. Norman.
Right.
So he is a vet and he has a clinic in Senawang. And he works with Perilitan, the National Wildlife Department.
Right.
And he actually helps them to preserve the wildlife animals. So I found his phone number, got in touch with him, and he helped me a lot during the early stage of me becoming a taxidermist. He gave me so much guidance. And because he's a vet, right, he has such a vast knowledge of just animal species, the anatomy, different anatomies and everything. But yeah, that helped me a lot. And after that, it's all about just practicing.
Practice.
Every
Yeah.
day practicing.
Because I was just thinking, like, sure, you may have strong art background, right? But recreating a pet, it's not as simple because you have to know like the anatomy, like how, like how do you.
I'm glad you say that.
Yeah.
It is really not an easy thing.
No.
Because at first I'm just like, wow, this is such a unique and a creepy art I would love to get into, right?
Yeah.
But that's not really the case. There's a lot of art that goes into. It's not just like how good you are using the knife.
Yeah.
You have to really be good at making a sculpture, a form of an animal.
Yeah.
Like the example I showed you.
Yeah.
What is inside the taxidermy you cannot see, but you
Yeah.
have to make the form,
Yeah.
the sculpture of
Yeah.
the animal. So that's one of my struggle or challenges that I had to overcome, basically.
That's crazy. Okay, I want to talk about how and the process in a little bit. I just want to ask you as well. Like, I mean, I'm sure you've worked with so many pet parents now, right? It's been how many years since you've worked on?
God, like 8 years
8
now.
years now, right? And you've probably worked on so many pets, right? Can you share with us one of the most touching or surprising reactions you've received?
Oh, this is a tough one because I feel like I attached to everything I work with. Because when I work on an animal, it doesn't take me like, 3 days, I'm done. Sometimes I work on them for months on end. Like,
wow.
for example, if I'm working on a dog,
Yeah.
it will take me about 3 to 5 months to complete. So every day
Wow.
I'm looking at this dog, every day, although I'm not literally working on the dog at that
Yeah.
time, but I'm actually like building a bond with the dog. And at the same time, as I'm being a taxidermist,
Yeah.
working on this dead animal, I'm also communicating with the owner. So the owner would tell me like, oh, my dog likes to eat this, my dog likes to walk here and there. Today's my dog's birthday. So things like that actually motivates me to actually do a better job.
Right.
It's a huge responsibility actually.
Yeah.
It's an honor. I'm not complaining. It's a huge honor to
Yeah.
be able to preserve people's pet. But at the same time, it's a very huge responsibility.
I imagine so because I think a big part of what makes this really meaningful is helping pet parents feel like their pet is truly represented, right? Like the personality and everything comes to life, right? How do you go about capturing that personality in your work? Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I'll always tell my clients that you have to understand that your pet, the essence of your pet, is gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
I cannot recreate 100% of how your pet was.
Okay.
So I always tell them I can only guarantee you 70 to 90% accuracy.
Okay.
That's as far as I can go. So yeah.
So actually, I know of you from my friend Kent. Cooper, right? You
Cooper the
remember
Looper.
Cooper the Looper? And well, he's a beautiful schnauzer, obviously. And because I've seen your work in real life, and I was just blown away because I feel like it's definitely more than a 70%. It was really capturing like him in real
I
life.
just have to give that disclaimer because people would want to, when they get a taxidermy, some of my clients actually would be like, can I hug my taxidermy? Can I go sleep with my taxidermy?
Yeah.
Which I don't really recommend.
Yeah.
Because if you hug your pet and go to sleep, your pet can grow their fur again. But if you hug your taxidermy pet and then the fur slips away, and
It's never gonna.
it's never gonna regrow again. So.
Yeah. I think okay. So that is cool, right? And I think knowing it and understanding how it looks like. But I also want to touch upon like the stigma or like the discomfort around
Okay.
it. I'm sure you've probably heard a lot about it. I think there's a lot of stigma, discomfort around the idea of taxidermy.
Are
How
you
do you
talking about the taboo side
yeah,
of
like
taxidermy?
how do you respond to people who find it like creepy, for example?
Okay.
Yeah.
So of course there are a few taboos. Why are there taboos in
Yeah.
taxidermy? For me, I think I would say because unfortunately, it's a glorified hunting thing, you know? It's glorifying hunting culture, really, which I am totally against,
Yeah.
you know? Other than that, people think, okay, in Malaysia especially, this is
Yeah.
such an uncommon practice.
It is so uncommon.
You wouldn't see anybody go to your friend's house. You won't see taxidermy in your friend's house. It's not like you walk in, oh, they have a taxidermy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like that. Other than that, I would say it's because of religion is very prevalent in Malaysia.
Yeah.
So my Buddhist friend actually told me if I have dead things in my house, I would bring bad luck to the house.
Right.
And my Muslim friends tell me if I have dead animals in my house, it's actually a form of an idol. So it's not even a taboo anymore. It's actually forbidden.
Right.
So I would think that religiosity is one of the main key factor that makes this art taboo in Malaysia.
Yeah. So I think, there's just a lot of like mix of like culture and religion which is why it's a bit of
Exactly. We just have a totally different culture. In our
Yeah.
culture, when something dies, we bury or cremate it,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
And here I am, trying to provide an alternative. So I already know this is not going to be an easy journey for me.
Yeah.
But that's not my goal. I don't have this
Yeah.
this need to actually make everyone love my art.
Yeah.
My job is to just provide an
Yeah.
alternative.
So
really.
yeah, sure. There's cremation. There's all these different ways, and pet taxidermy we're discussing as is just one of the way, right? That we can choose to.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, why for your clients who come to you, why do they actually choose pet taxidermy over like cremation, for example?
Because they're weird like me. Sorry.
But like, what are the common like reasons? Like, what?
Okay,
why
I
is
would
it?
say
Yeah.
I can't answer for them.
Yeah.
I would answer for myself.
Right.
At least for Dudi. So
Uh-huh.
the reason why I want to taxidermy and preserve Dudi is because I cannot accept that her beautiful body, yeah, I know her essence is gone. What do you want to call it? Her soul, her consciousness, whatever you want to call it, that part is gone. I get it. But her being, her physical being, that beautiful part of her, I cannot imagine her rotting underground because of that. So I'm like, I don't have any other option but taxidermy her.
Okay. So I think that's also Kent as well. I think that's also one of the thought process that
Exactly.
you had, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the basics, right? For someone who's considering pet taxidermy,
Okay.
but has no idea where to begin, and I think for a lot of us, we don't know where and how to start, right? What does the process actually look like, starting from the moment the pet passes?
Okay. Like I mentioned earlier, it's very crucial to actually freeze your pet. After
Right.
a pet dies, any animals, after it dies, you want to stop the process of decomposition. How do you do it? You wrap your pet in a plastic bag and you place it in the freezer. And since I work with a lot of pet, the pet that comes to me are either old or they have illness. So pet that have illnesses actually carry a lot more pathogen and it actually increases the process of decomposition. So freezing your animal is the most important thing.
Okay.
So are you asking me about the whole process of taxidermy? I can summarize it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So after I
But sorry, I have a question on that.
Okay.
What if it's a big dog? Like, I'm thinking like, if it's a golden, how am I gonna like wrap and freeze.
Okay, I'm not gonna work with anything bigger than a terrier because I do
Right,
not
okay.
have the resources.
Right, right.
Unless I have worked in a museum to preserve a 13-foot crocodile. But because we have the resources, the
Right.
museum are rich.
Where
the
are you-
museum have the resources.
Where are you taxiderm? What do you
I work
taxiderm?
from home like
Oh
a
my
creepo.
God. Okay.
So I have a little studio in my
Right,
home. So I
right.
work from home and I have few freezers. So I do not have the resources to actually work with larger dogs. But
Right,
imagine
okay.
if it's a terrier-sized
Okay,
dog.
let's imagine, yeah.
A terrier-sized dog.
Yeah.
So the first process would be we have to actually measure the dog.
Right.
Measurement is really important because it will play in hand in the later step of taxidermy, which we have to make the form. Remember the form I showed you just now? So to make a form correctly and accurately, you need to measure everything right. So the circumference of the neck, the body length, the tail length, the width of the eye, everything needs to be precise and measured. The next step is my favorite step, which is skinning. So when I say you're skinning an animal, Yen, you have to imagine taking your socks out of your feet.
Okay.
So the socks is the skin, your feet is the meat. So
Yeah.
you just pull it out. There would not be any blood if you skin it properly. It is not a gory situation where
Yeah.
blood is just ha everywhere. No, that's a misconception, by the way. People think
Oh.
it's such a gory.
I know because
bloody
when you say
thing.
skinny, it just feels like bloody, right?
No.
Ah,
It's-
interesting.
We're just taking the skin.
Okay.
So if you cut correctly, you can actually get the skin out from the
Just from-
body. So I'm not even going to see the bones, actually.
Okay.
I'm just taking the skin out of
Yeah,
the body.
right.
So once the skin is out, the next step would be fleshing. Fleshing is when I get rid of any leftover fat or whatever that is left on the skin. We don't want any meat, fat left over in the skin. We want it nice and clean.
Right.
And after that, I have to salt it for a few weeks. Salting is crucial because we want to get rid of any moisture, any leftover fat on
Right.
the skin. So let's say we're talking about a terrier, right? Terrier will take about 2 weeks-ish to salt. And after that, we have to put this is the most important part. We have to put it in this tanning solution.
Right.
So tanning solution is a little bit acidic, and the skin would rest in this tanning solution for about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
2 weeks salting, 2 weeks. in that.
exactly.
So
Now you can
that's
imagine
already
how
a month.
long the process
Yeah.
is. Yeah. So after it's done from the tanning solution, like I said, the tanning solution is acidic. So you have to neutralize the skin. You can't like just use the acidic skin because then the fur will come out. So you have to neutralize the skin, and after that, this is the challenging part of taxidermy. The form that you have made, you have to put the skin that has tanned over the form that you have made.
So the form is basically the one that you showed us earlier, right? With the
Exactly.
coconut husk.
Exactly. My method is I use coconut husk
Yeah.
and I use clay all over it. And then after that, wires. Wires is to actually differentiate,
The structures.
the structure.
Right.
Thank you. The structure of the body, the bones, and to replace the bones
Right.
and whatnot. And then I have to replace the eyeballs. Anything organic, imagine anything organic, I have to take it out. Take it out and replace it with non-organic materials. So the eyeballs, I will use resin to make new eyeballs. So yeah, and then you sew it back up. You make it look nice. Dry it for another maybe 2 weeks. You're done.
Wow. So it sounds like a very detailed and delicate
It is.
process, right? So typically
Tedious too.
Tedious
Yeah,
as
very
well, yeah,
tedious,
very
yeah.
tedious and like very like all about the details as
Yes,
well, right?
exactly.
So
It's very artsy.
from start to finish, you were saying how long?
Okay, for example, like we're talking about terrier. A terrier-sized animal would take me about 3 to 5 months to complete.
Yeah.
And if it's a
So-
small animal like a rat would take me about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Squirrel, 2 weeks.
Right.
So, and also it differs between species. So for a bird, it takes it's slightly different process. So when I want to taxidermy a bird, a reptile, and a mammal, the concept is similar. I'm using only the skin. But the method to preserve the skin is slightly different.
Oh.
Yeah. So it all depends on the species and
And
the
because
size
obviously
of,
like the dog skin is very different from like a reptile skin. So then
exactly,
I see.
exactly. Even the material that I use, the chemicals that I use to preserve the reptile skin
Wow.
and the mammal skin is totally different.
Wow. I think just now we touched upon like the different religion that causes like, the stigma and misunderstanding or like, how they feel about pet taxidermy, right? Since this practice is still quite rare in Malaysia, are there any legal or ethical guidelines around pet taxidermy that pet parents should be aware of?
Okay,
Yeah.
so pet taxidermy is legal.
Okay.
100% legal in
Right.
Malaysia. Taxidermy in Malaysia only becomes illegal if the taxidermist is unlicensed and actually work on endangered species.
Ah,
So you have to be aware what kind of species you're working on.
right. Wow, that's really really fascinating for me. And I think you just now you mentioned you don't work on dogs that are of like large size, right?
Right.
Because of the resources
At the moment.
At the moment, but are there any certain animals that you choose not to work on? Because I see you work on like birds and like reptiles as well. What is like your restriction like?
Okay. So my personal restriction is I would never ever work with animals that, especially when there are hunters that are unlicensed and they actually hunt animals that are not supposed to hunt at all to begin with. I would refuse to work with them. In fact, I actually report them to the National Wildlife Department because this is a major red flag for me. I am a taxidermist because I love animal alive and dead.
Yeah.
So people like this that are exploiting well and alive animal, some of them are actually going extinct. I cannot. This is yes against my
So that
practice and
is-
principles.
That is like your boundary, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I think for those of pet parents, for pet parents who are seriously considering it, cost may be a big factor here. I mean, considering how much time and effort you put into the entire process. What does pet taxidermy typically cost? If you're comfortable sharing.
Okay, yeah, I don't mind sharing. And I charge really cheap. Sorry, I charged really cheap. My business partner is really annoyed with how horrible of a businesswoman I am.
Okay.
And I keep telling him, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I'm not a businesswoman. I'm not here to make money.
Right.
Really, I'm here to provide service.
Okay.
So I can give you a ballpark. For example, an average cat would cost you around 2,008 to 3,000
Wow. I mean,
ringgit.
considering 6 months worth of work.
Exactly. And this piece of art that I have made for you would last you for a lifetime.
Forever. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Good to know. So I imagine that for pet parents, it may not always be, pet taxidermy may not be the right fit for everyone, right? Have there been times where you've actually advised someone against doing pet taxidermy?
I have actually. I
What
have.
happened?
I had a client that actually her dog passed away. It's really sad actually. Her dog passed away at the in nighttime, and then she texted me already, and she's like, I don't know what to do. I told her, please put in the freezer immediately in the freezer, but she was too distraught. So she hugged her pet the whole night long, and then she texted me again in the afternoon, like, Anna, I'm ready to send you my pet, and I'm like, I'm sorry, it's
Because
the
it wasn't
pet
in the
is not
freezer.
fit to be taxidermized, unfortunately, because we emit a lot of body heat. So when you're sleeping with your pet that has already deceased, the process of decomposition starts immediately. So if you spend the whole night sleeping with your pet, then I'm sorry, I cannot help you. But I do suggest other method. Maybe we can't do taxidermy. Maybe we can keep his bones. Maybe we can keep his organs. There's a lot of other methods of preservation that we can do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy. I mean, I think at the heart of it, it's, losing a pet is such an emotional decision. It's such an emotional thing. And I think it's a decision that is really hard to make as well. And, I can safely speak on behalf of all pet parents that losing our pets is, for me, I think is one of the most painful experiences
I'm so sorry for your
in my
loss.
life, right? So in your experience, do you feel that taxidermy can actually help pet parents process or cope with grief?
For me personally, yes, it can. Like I intellectually, I understand. When my pet passes away, I understand that the essence of her is gone. Right? I'm just unwilling to part with her physical being.
Yeah.
So in that way, I feel like I feel like okay, at least she's not rotting underground.
Yeah.
She's there with me. Her essence is gone. I will always remember who she was. But her presence is always there, and this kind of reminds me of a story I read about this orca. So orca is such an intelligent creature, right?
What is that? What is
It's a killer whale basically.
Oh, okay.
It's a killer whale, and this orca that was swimming around the islands near Vancouver Island, and this orca lost a baby, and this orca was so distraught to lose her baby. She carried her baby in her mouth for 20 days, swimming around the ocean. And researchers were around the area trying to find out, and they saw the intense emotion that she was displaying,
Yeah.
that loss of a child. And she was swimming around, and other orcas actually gathered, and it seemed like they're actually doing like a
A
funeral,
ritual or
like a
something?
ritual or a funeral for that dead baby orca. So this same orca, by the way, her name is Kalakua.
Okay.
Kalakua in 2018 lost another baby, and she did the same thing as well. So I really relate to Kalakua. I feel like I do not, I know my baby's gone.
Yeah.
Get it? I know my baby's gone. But I'm not willing to part with the physical being. She is so gorgeous. I would like to hold her and look at her as long as I could. And okay, while we're talking about this, there are people, okay, the Toranjan people in Indonesia, they have this very unique festival. So these people, they do not fear death. They actually embrace death. So every year, they have this festival called Mak Nene.
Okay.
And in this festival, they actually bring out their dead ancestors from the coffin.
No way.
Yes, way. And they clean them up nicely, and they dress them up in colorful clothing, colorful new clothing with accessories, sunglasses, earrings, necklace, and everything, you name it, and parade them around the village. So this is their way of actually appreciating and honoring
Right.
their dead ancestors. Also, there's a new thing in South Korea right now.
Yeah.
Because burial plots are getting so expensive,
Yeah.
people are not trying to bury their loved ones anymore. They're cremating it. So there's a company that's actually starting to turn the ashes of your loved ones into beautiful colored beads. They call it death
Into what?
beads.
Beads.
Beads like this.
Oh.
They
Okay.
call it death beads. So you can actually request what color beads you want, what size of beads you want. So instead of just having the ashes in a jar,
Yeah.
you can actually turn it into beautiful beads.
Wow. I mean, I think
So
this is
I guess my point here is
Yeah.
that when it comes to grief, right, it's such a unique and different process for every single person. So it depends on how you personally want to honor your loved one. I can't say this is wrong, this is right, or
Yeah.
be against it.
Yeah.
I can't be so
There's no right or
compulsive.
wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
tell everyone like, you must taxidermy your pet.
Yeah.
How dare you not taxidermy? Come on. That's asinine.
Yeah.
That is not my role.
Yeah.
My role is to just provide an alternative.
Yeah.
For people like me that appreciate this art, I'm here to just
Yeah.
provide you this service.
I think it's definitely a very misunderstood and like underrepresented art, I feel. Yeah. And I feel like you're right. I think people have different ways of coping with grief. Yeah. Like have you do people come and tell you that like it's hard for them to move on if they keep seeing the physical form? Has there been a feedback like that? Because
Yes.
I think for me that
I'm
would
glad
probably
you
be my
asked me
problem.
that again. Because
Yeah.
recently, okay, so a couple of years ago, I preserved my, a client came to me, her guinea pig passed away. And she asked me to preserve a guinea pig. So in the span of like at least 2 months, I got it done and I gave it to her. She's like, oh my God, she looked at it. She's like, looks like he's still alive. And I thank you so much. So I'm like, okay, great. Thank you so much. I'm glad. Okay, bye. And then a couple of months ago, she texted me. She asked me, can I bury or cremate the taxidermy that you have done for me? So I was like, yes. Oh, FYI, you can bury or cremate your taxidermy.
Oh,
Because I do
interesting.
not use dangerous materials or explosive things
right.
in the taxidermy. So it's perfectly safe for you to bury or cremate it. But I was curious. Of course, I asked her, like, hey, why are you deciding to do this?
Yeah.
And she told me it's because every time I see my guinea pig, it makes me think about when the guinea pig was alive.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me sad because I see him and he's not moving. He looks alive, but he's not moving. So it makes
Yeah.
me sad, da da da. So when she explained to me, I completely got it.
Yes.
Because grief, like I said, is very different, right?
Yeah.
For her, at that moment when she contacted me to preserve her guinea pig, that was her state to actually like process her grief. She was like, I'm
Right.
not willing to let go of this body of my beloved. So can you please help me preserve it?
Yeah.
So after a couple of years, it's like, okay, I cannot bear to see this. I think what would help me
I
through
wanna
this
know.
process of grief is if I actually bury my
That's
pet.
really interesting.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that is whatever you want to do. It's perfectly fine.
I think that's really interesting how, like, you may be at different states of mind when you're processing
Right.
grief. And I mean, that you're definitely offering a very interesting option for
Right.
people to do so. And I think earlier you mentioned about it's not just like it's about like removing the organs and then just the skin, but you also mentioned that there's different ways of preserving it, like just the bones and like there's different forms, right? Can you explain a little bit more?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I do have like some customers that do not want their pet staring at them like in taxidermy form, right?
Yeah.
Which I understand as well.
Yeah.
So some of them actually asked me to, can you just like skin my pet and tan the skin? So they can just have the skin, like they can frame it or whatever. And recently I had a customer actually, she kept her dog's teeth. I have an example actually. So
Just
yeah,
the
this
teeth?
is a kind of example of jewelries that I make, you
Oh
know?
my gosh.
These are dog teeth. So you can turn it with, what am I wearing here? Also, yeah, another teeth here. I think this is a rabbit teeth and this is goat teeth.
Did you make this yourself
Yeah,
as well?
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So you can make a lot of art with dead things.
Yes.
In a way, it's upcycling.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could like have it in different forms, right?
Exactly.
Do you want to show the example
Sure.
there? Yeah.
Okay, like I mentioned just now, so not everyone likes it to be like in a form of taxidermy, right?
Yeah.
So this is like a good example because the customer did not want it in a form. So I actually preserved the skin and also the full skeleton articulation. And she wanted to have it framed. So I'm like,
Wait, so this is real, right? Like
yeah. This is not fake. I made it myself.
wow. So what was the reaction that your client had when she received this?
They love it. Usually they love it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
No, but the reaction sometimes is a mixture as well. It's not like, I can't tell you that immediately when they see it, there's like, yeah, I love it. Thank you, Anna. Such a great job. No,
Yeah.
it's at first when they see them, it's sadness, okay?
know.
You have lost your loved ones.
Yeah.
And then you will see this joy as well, this immense, overwhelming joy as well because they're reunited with their pet again. Yes,
Yeah.
the essence of your pet is gone, but then you get to be reunited with the physical being of your pet. You know?
Yeah.
So it's a mixture of a lot of feelings.
I know.
Really.
Which is why, like, I'm just trying to put myself in this pet parent's shoes, and I'm just like, I can't comprehend how I would feel like when I see
Right.
my pet again, right?
It's
Yeah.
all I can say, Yan, is this is not for everyone.
It's not for everyone, but
However you want to honor your pet, it's your choice. I'm not here telling you this is the only way. No, I would never do that.
Yeah.
However you want to respect your pet, I respect your choices.
yeah. What are you currently working on?
Currently, I'm working on a Jack Russell and a Terrier right now.
Wow, how big is it?
It's about 6-7 kilos.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
good size.
are you in the midst of which?
Okay,
Which
right now
stage
I'm
are
at
you
the
at?
ending stage. So the
Okay.
Jack Russell I'm working with, she died of an illness. She's old actually, so she died of an illness. So of course, when you have to go to the clinic, the doctor has to shave a part of your animal skin, right, to put the IV in and
Yeah.
whatnot. So the owners are really particular about, please, can you replace the fur that is gone? Can you find a way? Because the patch of the fur that the doctor shaved is at the top part. it's hard for me to cover.
Oh, right,
It's
at
like
the
behind
neck.
the neck, yeah,
At
at the back
area.
of the
Right,
neck
right,
area.
right.
So the owner want the Jack Russell to be sleeping position.
Oh.
So in the sleeping position, you can see the back of the neck, right?
Right.
So they were really adamant about, Anna, please, can you do like some fur transplant on it and whatnot?
And
Yeah, I will do it.
oh my gosh,
No request is strange for me.
how do you do fur transplant?
It's
where do you-
hard, yeah. It's hard. It's hard and it's painstaking and it's tedious, but it's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. We can do
Wow.
it.
I can't wait to see like the end result of it.
I'll send you photos, the before and the after.
Yeah, actually, we should have that as part of. We should link it up as well for the
Okay, yeah,
listeners to
sure.
see. Okay, so thank you for sharing all of these new perspectives. I think these are really, really like new to a lot of us. Can you share with us? This is something that we ask all our guests, right? Can you share with us one perspective that has changed your life as Anna, the pet taxidermist?
Whew. So as Anna, the pet taxidermist,
Yes.
what I can say is that I respect death and I value life even more since I became a taxidermist. And having this opportunity to actually preserve someone's pet family member is a huge responsibility to actually have this, opportunity to even being able to do that. So I'm very honored to actually being in this position, really.
I think something that I learned from you today is I think losing a pet is something that we all fear, but I think after our conversation, I feel like, and you talked about like certain tribe that actually embrace
Yeah, it's
death.
inevitable,
It's
yeah.
inevitable and something
Death
that
is
will
gonna come to you the minute you're born. You confirm gonna die. Taxes and death you cannot avoid.
Yes.
right?
So I think it's something that, it may sound creepy to a lot of people, morbid to a lot of people, but it's something that we can't avoid. And here are the options that we have. And I think the work that you're doing is such a beautiful way or an option for people to remember their pets,
Thank
right?
you.
So I think this is such an eye-opening conversation. And I think pet taxidermy is definitely a very unique way to preserve memories. And whether it's for you or not, it's so fascinating to learn about the artistry and the emotion
Right.
and all the details that goes behind it. And if this episode made you think differently about pet memorials, please share it with a fellow pet parent and let us know, would you ever consider pet taxidermy? As always, you do your own research because you know your pets best. Signing off and see you in the next episode. Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
Yeah.